Are you heading out this spring, get back into your hiking? Well, what you don't want to have happen is go out hiking for a couple of days and then you come back and you end up in my office with a black and bloody toenail. How do we prevent this in the first place? First of all, be sure that your feet are measured and that your shoe size is correct for your feet, both in length and width. What you don't want to have happen is to have your foot sliding around in the shoe because it's fitting you incorrectly. Just because your regular shoes are size X doesn't mean that your boots will be exactly the same. Be sure you don't buy them online. Go into a store where your feet can be actually measured, where you can try them on, and someone can check to see whether your toes are proper in the shoe with enough space between the longest toe and the end of the shoe. Next, lacing the shoes. Everybody's got different sized feet, and just because you pull on the laces doesn't mean your foot's in there properly. What you want to prevent with the lacing is this foot from pistoning forward or around in the shoe too much. This pistoning and sliding back and forth, even if the shoe size is correct, will allow the toes to hit up against the end of the shoe. And again, depending upon how much mileage you put in, can cause the problem with the toe, specifically infection, loosening of the nail, and pain. Finally, you want to be sure that your socks are of appropriate thickness. Yes, you want to have socks that prevent friction around the foot, but specifically around the toe box, that the socks are not too thick and therefore could cause more pressure and ultimately lead to injury to the toenail. Let's go into a little bit of what does the discolored nail mean? Why is that so important to do anything about it? Well, if it's minimal and there's no discomfort with it, it may well resolve on its own. But when this goes on, what actually happens, the blackening is caused because of microtrauma to the toenail and the nail bed underneath, and bleeding occurs. This bleeding, if it's of any extent, will accumulate under the nail, build up, form what we call a hematoma, and pressure and pain. If you've come home from your hike or finished your day's hike and you've developed a very painful toenail that isn't just alleviated by removing the boot, that nail may need to be drained so that the blood underneath comes out, the pressure comes out, and the problem is alleviated. If things progress to the point where the nail is actually loosened, I wouldn't attempt to remove it on your own. The safest thing is, besides applying ice if you can to relieve pain, is to actually band-aid or tape the nail to the nail bed until you can get home and seek medical attention. Besides developing bleeding under the nail, a problem that's not specifically painful, and more likely secondary to repeated microtrauma. When this kind of trauma goes on for time, besides bacterial infection, we can get a fungal infection of the toenail called onychomycosis. And the nail in of itself, besides being black, becomes thickened and discolored, often yellow, black, even green, is a problem unto itself that needs separate attention and treatment. If you want to prevent a blackened toenail following all of your hiking, take the preventive steps in the first place and avoid painful, infected toenails.